Are you someone that just started your makeup artist career? Are you also going online on Instagram and comparing yourself to all of these super talented makeup artists out there and going, how can I compete with these other artists, getting clients, having really great work, and also making as little mistakes as possible? Well, you've come to the right place. I'm here to share with you guys the personal mistakes that I made as a makeup artist when I first began and how you guys can avoid making those as well. Hey guys, my name is Julie and I am a freelance makeup artist. I specifically work in the wedding industry, and let me tell you, it is a super rewarding career. I absolutely have loved it ever since I started it about 6 years ago. With that being said, the last 6 years have been trial and error, exhaustion, burnout, all the above. This is because I did not set myself up the proper way and employ the right techniques that I should have when I first started as a makeup artist. I do want to make sure that everybody knows that this is not a set in stone list of rules. What works for one person may not work for another person. Everybody has subjective experiences, and what you choose to do with those experiences will round you into a better artist. The number one and the most important thing, if you do not take away anything else from this video, it is this right here. Ready? I made the mistake of focusing on products rather than focusing on my techniques. How many of us are obsessed with makeup kit videos? We all are guilty of this. Don't need to hide it. We all are obsessed with it. Because of that though, we are all searching for the greatest and best products as possible because somewhere in our heads, the marketing of cosmetics has been ingrained in us that this product is going to produce this result. However, the products that you use do not determine how good you are as a makeup artist. Yes, there are some products out there that can help you achieve better results, but at the same time though, you cannot solely rely on a product to do your job for you. The product is not the makeup artist, you are. Let me give you a prime example right now. Around the early 2010s, so I'm talking 2011 through maybe 2013, there was these husband does my makeup challenges, and these husbands have no experience prior doing makeup. They are just average husbands with wives that have beauty channels. Do you want to know why they were entertaining? Because they all ended up tragically. And this is all because the husbands had zero techniques. They didn't know how to apply any of these products, and these husbands and boyfriends were not working with any cheap products, guys. They had wives and girlfriends that got sent PR from high-end cosmetic brands. That means that an artist that is not properly trained cannot achieve the results that they want if they are not properly understanding the techniques and the education that goes along with it. Every once in a while, we all do kind of get sucked into it, especially finding foundations for our kits specifically. We always think that as long as we have this really super great foundation that blends out really well, it's gonna make all of our makeup applications look flawless, when really it's our techniques that we have to work on and not the products that we need to upgrade. Number two on my list is something along the same lines, but it's pretty much a distant cousin of the last one. This is spending more money on your makeup kit rather than spending it on your actual business or on education. I think all beginner makeup artists are victims of this. You don't need every single finish of foundation. You don't need every single color of concealer, because guess what? You guys can mix and match. So the ways that I would specifically use that leftover money that you're not spending on your makeup kit is I would invest in either taking master classes from other makeup artists. I would also invest in maybe coaching classes, business coaching, or also just like one-on-one coaching. The other ways you could also spend your money is investing in a really good website. You could also invest in a website designer if you're not that tech savvy. If you do weddings like I do, a lot of brides want very quick and easy access. They want answers right up front. They want to see all the information before they make the investment. And so websites are the perfect option for this. I spend probably about $300 every single year on my website, but some artists do spend a lot more. You can also invest in client management systems, something like Honeybook, Dubsado. Those are basically all automated systems that you can send invoices, send contracts, send reminder emails, and provide a really streamlined way of corresponding and sending out things to your clients. This overall provides a very easy client experience, and it's something that I also do want to invest in someday, but right now I'm in a situation where I have to save a little bit of my money for things because I am in esthetician school right now. When I do obviously graduate from esthetician school, I do have big plans to upscale my business. The third thing that I would definitely do as a beginner makeup artist, and this is something that is not an if, and, or but thing, like you need to do this and have this knowledge as a makeup artist. A lot of artists forget that makeup artistry has artist in the name. Makeup artistry is just like doing art, but on a different canvas, which means you have to have a base level of color theory. You need color theory for all sorts of things, guys. You need color theory for not only color correcting, but you need it for foundation matching, tattoo cover-ups, and also special effects makeup if you go into that as well. This is why when people go onto the YouTube Academy, they can't actually employ any of the techniques because they're not actually going down to the root of it and they're not studying art in itself. If you're a beginner makeup artist that doesn't know your primary, your secondary, your tertiary, and all of your complementary colors and what all of the functions of them are, please look at a color wheel and study it to its core. That will teach you the foundations of becoming a makeup artist. And with that knowledge, you can do a whole bunch of things. Alrighty, so besides the actual artistic side of being a makeup artist, let's go on to the actual business side of things. A lot of makeup artists are very right-brain people and not a lot of left-brain qualities apply usually. And I'm not shading any makeup artists, but that's just what we are. Like, we are creative people. So a lot of the times the business aspect does not come easy to makeup artists. So my fourth tip is treat your makeup business like a business. If you're gonna start it, do it, go in it full force. None of this like half-ass thing. Otherwise, you will be taken advantage of several different times in your career. And by treating your makeup artist business like a business, I mean contracts and retainers, guys. With contracts, first of all, you can either write them yourself, but I do highly suggest that you do actually have an attorney write up the contract, just so it's in the proper legal jargon and you know 100% that a lawyer has looked over it. I'm not gonna lie, I should follow my own advice about this video because I still need to do that too. But when I first started my own makeup artist business back in 2018, your girl did not have any contracts whatsoever. I did not have anything that was holding anybody to that date. I got walked all over, guys. I had people that were canceling left and right. I had people that were rescheduling things and people that just ghosted me because there was nothing tying them physically to that date. And no, you don't have to have contracts for each and every appointment. I just personally do contracts as a bridal makeup artist because weddings are a huge event. And if I lose out on that event and lose out on 8 applications, that's a whole entire week's salary for me. So I really want to have that date locked and set in stone and really budge proof. So it's very, very hard to get out of. Again, people are messing with our income. So if you don't lock them into place somehow, they're just going to cancel. They're just going to go on to somebody else. They may not even tell you they're going on to somebody else and just ghost you completely. Yeah, I learned that the real hard way, guys. I do actually sell bridal templates, including bridal contracts. They're available on shopjulieruby.com. I also sell accounting templates and consultation templates and also inventory trackers too to track expiration dates on your products in your kit. So if you guys are interested in that, go to shopjulieruby.com. For the bridal contracts, it's all plug and play system. I have the baseline wording on there and then you guys can alter it however you want to. All you need is to have a Google account or a Gmail account and you can access it. It's on Google Drive. Once you're done editing it, you can download it as a PDF and then upload it into any sort of document signer. I personally use Dropbox Sign. It is completely free up to 3 signs. And then after that, you do have to pay about $15 a month to have it. There are other document signers such as DocuSign or PandaDocs. However, this could all be avoided if you do have client management software like HoneyBook because you can use that to send out your contracts for you. Now, the second thing that I brought up earlier was also not taking retainers. And the term retainer and deposits are not actually interchangeable words. Deposits is something that implies that once somebody puts their money down, it can actually be refunded, whereas retainer means that it is non-refundable. This means that retainer is retaining that amount to go toward your final amount. Please use retainer as legal jargon inside of your contracts and also when you speak to your clients about it too. Now I'm going to get into really quickly the reasoning why you need a retainer, and that is about the same reason as you need a contract. Retainers are something that the clients take more seriously because of the fact that they have physical money that they have invested in your services before you actually do the services. I personally take retainers for any of my appointments. It doesn't matter if it's bridal, a special event, any of the appointments I take a retainer for. I don't mess around. This is especially something that I implemented after I got stood up and ghosted so many different times. I got so many no calls and no shows for random special events. People's wedding dates are set in stone. Their wedding date is their wedding date and they were most likely not going to cancel it. But with special events, people don't really take it as seriously as weddings. So people for special events will be more likely to no call, no show you if you do not take retainers in advance. This can be any sort of monetary amount that you want. I would highly encourage though that you make it enough that people are not going to back out of it. For instance, if people maybe only have $25 invested as a retainer, they may still cancel on you because $25 is $25. Whereas if they have $100 invested in it, they're less likely to back out because they know that they have more money that they're going to lose if they don't show up. You're free to have whatever policies that you want in place. I've kind of adapted mine in accordance to either my own experiences or just advice that other people have told me. There's no one answer. There's no universal way of doing business. All of it's going to be different depending on your experience. Let me go on to number 5, and that is posting photos that do not do my work justice. And this is just something that I've learned within the last year of doing makeup. I didn't realize that being a photographer was part of our jobs. You're probably gonna be like, duh, yeah, obviously, Julie, you need to be able to post photos of your work on your Instagram page to be able to advertise your work, right? Yes, but the key is to study photography techniques and lighting. And you guys can even take classes too. And this is what I also mean in like investing more in actual business and education rather than spending money on your makeup kit. Nothing is more frustrating than doing the best damn job that you ever have and having it not be able to translate in photos. Let me tell you right now that it's not the camera that you're using. I take all my photos on my iPhone 11 and I've just now mastered the art of lighting, and those photos now are turning out really great. If I can, I'll do like a side-by-side of my lighting when I first started and then the lighting currently. There's a world of a difference. Lighting is going to make or break your photos, and also the angle in which you're taking those photos. You think that you're doing a really okay job at taking client photos until you actually take a really good photo in really good lighting, and that's when you realize that you really don't actually have very good photos. Everyone always asks me how I take really great client photos, and let me be the first to tell you that it is not the camera that you're using, it's the lighting. Let me show you. This is by far the worst. This is fluorescent bathroom lighting. You can tell that my face is clearly very yellow tone because of the fluorescent lights. It's definitely very off for colors. Then we have the awkward backlit lighting where the natural light source is behind me and the artificial one is in front of me. Obviously, there's a bunch of shadows cast that are very strange. This is something that I see makeup artists do a lot. They don't have their clients face the direct light source and there are shadows on one side of the face. This is facing a direct light source. As you can see, the quality is very crisp and very clear and true to color. However, the lighting that I have right now is by far the best, and this is where I'm sitting in front of a natural light source and I have my artificial light on. As you can see, the contrast is very nice. It's very true to color and no editing needs to take place. Just to prove that your camera doesn't mean anything, I'm using an iPhone 11 right now and it works perfectly fine. But I did realize that you kind of need to study client posing a little bit too when it comes to actually taking photos, because naturally your clients will not be models. Like, they're not going to know how to naturally pose. So by giving them the instructions, they're number one, going to feel less awkward. And then you'll also have a really solid looking portfolio. All right, number 6 is solely relying on social media and the YouTube Academy to know everything there is about being a makeup artist. You'd much rather learn online, learn from the comfort of your own home, because it's less scary, right? If you set out to be a makeup artist and you set out to be a business owner and succeed, you're gonna have to go out in the world and do things. Any single entrepreneur that I know has taken at least 5 major risks in their whole entire career. Those risks may not have paid off, and some of them have. And they're gonna be scary. You're gonna fail, you're gonna succeed, and you're gonna do it all over again. When you are solely focusing on social media and on YouTube and just watching videos and not actually getting hands-on experience with things, you are not going to be learning makeup at all. And if you cannot physically do makeup on people, then you're not a makeup artist. You need that hands-on experience. You need to mess up and then experiment until you are able to fix it. That's why I highly suggest, as a beginner makeup artist, to take as many model calls and join styled shoots. Those will ultimately help you become a better makeup artist. Let me go over the difference of the two of these really quickly, because I know I'm gonna get a lot of questions. Model calls is where you do makeup. This can be on friends, family, or strangers if you want to, but I would highly recommend you starting with friends and family. Model calls for more experienced artists are still a good thing because, number one, you can get social media content for those months that are really slow. The other reason why experienced artists do this is to experiment with new products. If you're adding a new makeup item in your kit, for instance, maybe a foundation that you want to try out, I would try out those products on people that are not paying for the services. Number 3, and I think this is the most important reason, is to practice new techniques. Artists just get bored and we want to try new techniques. Now, the other way that I told you guys that you could practice on people as well is styled shoots. Now, styled shoots are a little bit different. So styled shoots are when a collective of different people get together and you all basically do a mock photo shoot. I'm part of the bridal industry, so we have bridal styled shoots where all the wedding vendors get together, and this can be as big or as small as you want it to be. I've had styled shoots with 3 people. I've had styled shoots with 15 people. And you all do it for free, by the way. None of this is paid. You're just basically exchanging all of your services together in order to collaborate and get to know each other. You also gain a lot of connections in the industry this way too. And you also can end up on those other 15 people's referral list. All right, another little subcategory of not relying purely on social media for your education is taking master classes from other makeup artists. Sometimes makeup artists host either one-on-one master classes or they do online classes. This is another thing that I really have to get better at too. I love learning from other artists, and I'm guessing that's the reason that you guys clicked on this video too, is because you're trying to learn from me. There are master classes where you are showing up in person, you have to physically bring a model and maybe doing a makeup look step by step by step and following them in person. The other option you could possibly do too to get more hands-on experience and really dip your toes into whatever industry that you want to be a part of is mentorships. It's like any other type of job shadowing. They're mentoring you along the way, and you're going to each and every one of their jobs as their assistant, and you're really getting to deep dive and get firsthand experience into what it's like in that industry. And yeah, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it, right? Okay, so here's the reason why artists do not usually take this on is number one, it takes a lot of effort to train people from the ground up. Depending on the industry that that person's a part of, it may not be possible. For instance, there's a lot of people that have asked me to mentor them before or asked to assist me. And as I would love to help people with that, it's honestly a huge undertaking in weddings especially. You have to get done with all of those amount of people, make them look really good in a certain amount of time, and weddings get very chaotic and there's a lot of bodies involved. It really is hard to try to explain to people on site what you're doing while you're doing it. It takes up an excess amount of time rather than that artist just completing that job and leaving. So if you don't mind just showing up to the job, cleaning brushes, sanitizing everything for that artist, and kind of just observing from a distance and not expecting them to really go in full force with you as they're doing the job, then that's fine. The reason that mentorships are also really hard to find is that the majority of the time they're very expensive, okay? Like you will probably have to pay for that mentorship because that artist is not gonna give away their knowledge for free. We have spent years studying, retaining, and executing that knowledge, and we're not going to give it away without a price. That's why usually for every single business coaching session, there is a fee for those. And that's pretty much what you're doing, but on a very large scale. And also the mentorship price can vary depending on the extent or the length of the mentorship too. So it just depends on whatever agreement you have between that artist and yourself. But honestly, if you can find an artist that is willing to mentor you, take that opportunity because it doesn't happen that often. Now, number 7 is more so encompassing how to get clients. And I have made a whole in-depth how to get clients video on my YouTube channel along with other things. I put them all in the Business for Makeup Artists playlist. Number 7 though is not relying solely on just your social media for marketing. Before anybody says anything about it, I do want to say that social media is going to be definitely your number 1 marketing tool, but number 2 is gaining connections with people. If nobody knows who you are, they're not going to hire you. So gaining connections with people, hooking up with different vendors in your industry, wedding vendors, for instance, in mine, connecting with people in your community in general. And let me tell you right now that I know how scary this is, guys. I know how scary it is to put yourself out there. I need to get better at this as a person because I am an introverted person, which I'm assuming the majority of people are if they're watching YouTube videos. Referrals from other people and past clients is going to get you about 90% of your clientele, if not close to like 95% of your clientele. And if you can end up getting on vendor referral lists, either wedding venues, for instance, or the actual vendors themselves, that's fantastic for you. I would also get business cards, as archaic as that sounds, hand them out to every single photographer that you run into, whether it's on a shoot or a wedding or whatever you're a part of. Hand it out to everybody because you never know when somebody's going to ask that vendor for a makeup artist and they're going to be like, oh man, I ran into this one makeup artist that one day. They did really good work, and they'll refer you. It might happen 5 years after you give them your business card, but it also might happen immediately too. You never know. You can also take the liberty of just reaching out online to people too. You can reach out to them through email, but just keep in mind that your email might come off a little bit spammy and end up in their spam account, or they might just delete it thinking it's a spam. So I would highly recommend building up an Instagram page, and then that way all of your portfolio is on that Instagram page so that they know that you're legit. Maybe DM them on Instagram and just introduce yourself and say, hey, my name is Julie. I'm a Fort Wayne bridal makeup artist. I've looked at your work and I think that our vibes would really match each other as far as our clients go. Please take a look at my portfolio And please consider me as a makeup artist for any of your potential bridal clients. And that's really all you have to say. You might have a lot of rejections, but hey, at least you tried and at least you put a ring a little bit in people's ear. Now my final mistake that I did, and this is number 8, is taking any job possible. A lot of the times, makeup artists, when you first begin, will take any and every job possible in order to either get their name out there or get the money to maintain their business. And let me tell you that you really don't need to do this. This does also come with experience too, though. You won't necessarily be able to read the clients or be able to suss out the situation until you kind of have a little bit more experience. And some people are just naturally better at doing this than others. But usually the makeup jobs that you're getting when you first begin are very low key. Like, they're not going to be these huge, expensive, really luxury events, because your prices are automatically going to be a little bit lower than people that have been doing it for 10 years longer than you have. And when people are in a little bit lower of an income bracket, I'm not trying to be stereotypical or generalized by any means, but normally when you're dealing with a lower income bracket, you might end up in very weird situations, okay? And I'm just talking from personal experience here. People might have other personal experiences. I've also had really fantastic clients in that bracket too, but the majority of people have never been repeat clients. They've never referred me to other people. It's not been advantageous for my career whatsoever. So my best recommendation for this is that be picky and be selective about the jobs that you pick when you first begin as a makeup artist. This is number 1, involving your safety. And number 2, you also have to really think about how it's going to benefit you in the future. If this job provides no benefits and you don't really see this connecting with anything or going anywhere beyond just this job, don't take it. I mean, I started off by charging like $75 a piece, which is honestly pretty inexpensive nowadays for makeup. I put myself into really dangerous situations for only $75, guys. Like, it's honestly not a lot of money when you think about it. And I promise you there's gonna be way better jobs and way better clients that come out of it if you just wait and don't take every single job possible. And a lot of the times you could almost like suss things out a little bit, just depending on the communication or lack thereof. I will not actually take a job anymore if their email correspondence isn't exactly where I'd like it to be, or if maybe they're being a tad disrespectful or just not emailing me back in like a timely manner. I usually won't take the jobs because that's not the type of client that I want in my life. So just remind yourself when you first start off, you don't have to take every single job. Sometimes when you're a beginner makeup artist, you almost have this scarcity mindset that if you don't take this job, it's going to impact your business in a negative way, or you may never get a job again after that. And that's totally not the case. There's always going to be a person that's going to reach out to you about something. You might have a little bit of a lull here and there, but that's completely natural. It happens to all of us. It happens even to the most experienced artists. That is pretty much my wrap up for this whole entire video, guys. I hope that you guys did learn a thing or two and try to implement at least one of these 8 things that I talked about. Again, you can take it or leave it if you want to, but hopefully you guys did pick up a few things from this. If you guys have anything to add or anything to comment or questions or anything, leave those in the comments down below. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as also hitting that big thumbs up button for me as well. It really does help me out in this channel and also the YouTube algorithm as well. And also, if you guys maybe you just want to support the channel in a different way or buy me a coffee, if you hit the 3 dots next to the subscribe button, there is a super thanks button right there. You can donate any amount that you want to the channel, and honestly, I really appreciate each and every one of your donations, so thank you so much. And as always, I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. All right, bye.